Okay, now we're ready. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with ZJ International. It's my privilege to host our Saturday morning fast start training for ZJ. So we can get a little more light going here. And excited to have you with us this morning. For those of you that have been regular participants, we use this time to share a few of the things that have been able to create an industry and a profession where people-to-people marketing or network marketing, multi-level marketing, where an individual, a couple, a family could take great products, work with a good company, and be able to create a home-based business, something where you can put some time into for a period of time, start to generate some additional income, and in many cases be able to create a long-term residual income stream. What I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be sharing some of the things that were taught to me, coming up on what, about 31, 32 years ago. Back then in the mid 80s, I was a cross-country truck driver, and I'd done that for a while, and was looking for a way to create a greater level of income to provide for my young family, to have more time freedom. And this profession in network marketing has been able to fulfill on all of those promises. I was literally able to be able to retire within 10 years of joining this profession, and had an opportunity to be able to enjoy a life that most people only dream about, being able to work if I wanted to, not if I didn't, have that time to be with my family. A lot of things have happened because of this profession, and it all comes back to very early on in my career. I had an opportunity to attend a fast start training. We called it the Saturday morning fast start training, and so coincidentally, we're doing it on Saturday morning. And one of the things that happened there is I had the good fortune to be able to be involved with million-dollar income earners from this industry. And they shared with me a few simple concepts, what this business is all about, and how to create a true long-term residual income stream. So I opened up the archives, if you will. I pulled some of that information together, and what I'm going to share with you this morning is what I was introduced to 30 years ago. And I think here's the real key. When I first had a chance to look at this type of business, what I saw was a company that had good products that I would personally use. And if I would use those products, why wouldn't I buy them from myself as an independent distributor? And my friends would want to buy these products as well. And many of them, they might also like to do as I, and create an additional income stream. And the system, and this is the real key thing, and I hope you grab your journal, your notebook, whatever it is you're using to start taking notes, at the beginning of this journey. For many of you, you're brand new distributors just getting started with us. I have many of these really nice leather-bound, beautiful journals today, but over 30 years ago, they were spiral-bound notebooks, just, real cheapy ones. You could get a couple of them for $1 back then. And that's what started my journey. And most of what I've learned over those years has been committed to writing. And what I encourage you to do is, if you haven't done so already, grab something to write on. Grab your journal, grab your notebook, because what I'm going to share was what was shared with me. And this is what I saw. I saw a simple system. It looked simple enough. It looked like it would work, and I thought I could do it. And one of the things I've learned over the years is, if you have a simple system, something that people can look at, looks simple, looks like it'll work, they think they can do it, that will allow people the ability to get involved. Because if it looks too complicated, if they can't figure out how it's going to work and they're pretty sure they can't do it, they don't even get started. And frankly, I would not be where I am today 30 plus years later if I did not have an opportunity to believe that it was something I could do. And the fact of the matter is, this is what makes this business work the best, is if you have a simple system. So hopefully you've got a chance to get your note paper in hand here. Let's go ahead and get started. Here's the fundamentals. We want to focus on the issues that create success. And it's an understanding of what is it that we do and how do we do it. And I think for most people, once they've had a chance to maybe experience our products or learn about the company or learn about what's happened with some of the people that have gotten involved in our company, that's all they really need to know is, what is it that we do and how do we do it? So 3 things. Here's what we do. Put this in your notes. 3 things we do. Number 1, we share our company's products. Okay. Number 2, we share the income opportunity that comes from being an independent distributor with Zejus products. And then number 3, we teach others to do the same. Now, that's pretty simple. We share our products, we share our opportunity, and we teach others to do the same. Here's a clue. If you keep it that simple, then you are focusing on the correct activities. See, too often we get exposed to many different things that are out there in the marketplace. I'm going to talk a little bit in a few minutes about the difference between concepts and techniques. If we stay with the concepts are very simple. Share the product, share the income opportunity, teach others to do the same. Now, how do we do that? Let's break this down a little bit. In terms of sharing the product, here's what we do, and again, 3 things. Number 1, use the product. If you're using the product and you have experience with the product, your own personal results on the product will cause you to want to share it with others. Okay, why would you keep this a secret? Okay, number 2, you're going to have to talk to people. That's kind of common sense. You have to talk to people. They're not going to, nobody's going to bang on your door in the morning and say, hey, you guys got any Zej in there? Okay, you got to talk to people. And number 3, here's the key, tell stories. Tell the stories of the results that you've gotten on the product, your family members have gotten on the product, others have gotten on the product. This is how we share the product. Now, some people call this sell the product. Well, of course we sell the product. That's how we make money. We make money only if product moves into the field, being used by consumers. However, the fact is that we don't teach sophisticated sales techniques because they are not duplicatable by the average person. But we do this all the time. You sell movie tickets all the time when you tell a friend about a great movie you saw. Many people sell cars without ever selling a car, but they talk to their friends about the new car they got and how much they like it. Or, you sell, food at a restaurant. Well, you didn't sell the food at the restaurant. What you did is you shared your experience at a new restaurant or a particular dish you had at a restaurant. So the best way to share our products is, number 1, use the products. Because if you're using the products, you'll have a personal testimonial on it. Now, my recommendation is use all the products. Use all the products all the time. Become a product of the product. There is nothing that speaks louder than results. Now, in the beginning, when I first started in this industry, I couldn't use all of that original company's products. I used the products that I could. And then as my income increased, I started using more and more products. Today, I use all of Zejus products. I don't use the AGX women's formula. That one I don't use, okay? But I have friends that are using that product. And so I have testimonial, my personal testimonial, my personal story, and the stories of many others on all of the products. The more stories you can share, the more product you're going to sell, okay? For instance, fellas, here's one that a lot of the fellas don't get. When you start talking about our skincare line, a lot of fellas, their eyes roll over and they don't even think about it. That's the gals thing. Well, I got to tell you something, fellas. I use the skincare. I use it to shave. I use it to, I use the stuff for every aspect of the skincare. I use the mask. I use the mask periodically. And see, I sell skincare. And the reason I sell skincare is because I use skincare. So use all the products all the time. Now, talking to people, very simple. Everybody out there needs our products. If somebody's alive, they need our products. And I'm going to talk in a moment about how to generate a list of potential customers and, if you will, potential business partners. Finally, telling the stories. Folks, I'm on virtually every single broadcast that Zija has as often as I can. Maybe not on the live Facebook presentations Dr. Plant and his team does. I may listen to them the next day on the replay. It's to pick up the stories so I can share more stories. That's why you want to get on as many products as you can. Get your family members on the products so you'll have more stories to tell, your potential customers. So how do you share the product? Use the product, talk to people, and share the stories, yours and others. Number two, how do you share the income opportunity? Well, you're going to chuckle at this because it's the same thing. How do you share the income opportunity? Use the product, talk to people, and share the stories. But in this case, share the stories of people's success, financial gain within the business opportunity. That can be your story and the stories of others. When you just get started, you don't have a story, for instance. We're going to focus on how to get you a story. You're going to have to leverage the stories of, your sponsor or maybe their sponsor, your active, engaged upline distributors. These are the people whose stories you'll use until you get your own story. Now, teaching others the same, how to do this, that's as simple as learning this system, doing the system, getting results, and then teaching it to others. And the key here is if you can have, an entire training session on one page of paper, okay, that's a simple system. And the key that I found over the years is if you keep it simple enough that it can be taught to the average person, then the average person can learn it. And then the average person can turn around and teach it to others. And that's where the magic takes place, where you start to get that duplication process. So let's talk a little bit about that part two, talking to people. And I'm going to give you a few little things to do here. Okay, number one, start out by creating a list. Now, for those of you that maybe have been involved in a network marketing enterprise in the past, everybody starts about making a list to talk to your friends and family. Well, couple things on that. I've had people say, well, I don't really want to talk to my friends and family. I feel funny making money off of my friends and family. Well, folks, you need to reevaluate what you're doing. Okay, if you opened up a restaurant, you went and dropped $100, $200, $300, $500,000 to open up a restaurant, and it's opening day and your best friend walks in, would you tell them to go down the street to the other restaurant because you felt funny making money off of them? Are you not convinced you have a good enough, product at your restaurant? You need to get your thinking squared away here. This is not about forcing friends and family to do something, but rather sharing it with them. I have lots of friends and family who use my products. I have lots of friends and family that don't. And you know what? It makes no difference to me. My job is to share it with them. If they're interested, great. If they're not, great. But I believe in my products and I believe in myself and what I'm doing. And so you need to get your thinking squared away on that one. Now, why do we start with people we know? Friends, family, business contacts, people from the neighborhood, the church, what have you. Real simple. Because it's what we do. We share a story. We share a story of what happens to people on our products. We share the stories of what happens to people when they get into our business. And the fact of the matter is, somebody we know is a lot more likely to be willing to take a minute and listen to our story than a perfect stranger. I know when I first started, I talked to 12 people about my products in my first week. And of those 12 people, 6 of them bought the products. Now, who did I talk to? I talked to my sister. Okay, I talked to a good friend of mine. I talked to actually a couple of good friends of mine, a couple of buddies. Talked to my favorite aunt. My favorite aunt was the one that always bought stuff from me when I was a little kid. She was the one buying, the subscriptions and the bird seed and the Christmas cards and whatever, whatever it was that I was trying to make a few bucks with. We talk to those people because they're more likely to be willing to hear the story. Imagine this, walking up to a stranger on the street and say, I have a great story to tell. Would you like to hear it? Depending on what part of the country you live in, they may look at you funny. They may run away from you. You may get shot. It just depends on what part of the country you're in, right? We start with people that we know. Now, create a list. That's typically the first thing that's suggested. I'm going to recommend, rather than doing this as a hobbyist, do it like the professionals. use a memory jogger. Now, a memory jogger, you can find, your upline distributors got one, or, they're on the internet. Contact me. I'll let you have the one that I use. All a memory jogger is, it's a paper and pencil tool. It has maybe, 100, 200, 300 different types of people that everybody knows. Memory jogger, if you learn how to use that tool correctly, the average person in a very short period of time, sit down for 15, 20 minutes, and you'll generate a list of 50, 100, 150 names, people that you never even thought about, because that's what this tool is designed to do. Now, I'm not going to go into depth on how to use a memory jogger, how to create the list. If you go to my YouTube channel, I've got some little training videos on there. You can look for those and get a little bit more in-depth information. Go to youtube.com/Fred Holmes Egypt. Fred Holmes Egypt. But you'll see some more training on there, and we can go into more depth in that particular venue. For today, create a list, use a memory jogger. Okay, that's really key. Use a tool to get a larger number of people to talk to. Now, follow the system. When you're talking to people, there is a specific system that will provide you with much better results than just haphazardly figuring out what to do. It's a 3-step system. And here are the 3 steps. And this applies to whether you're talking to people about the product or whether you're talking to them about our income opportunity. I'll focus on the income opportunity right now, but it works for either one. Okay, the first step is the invitation. Invite people to take a look. Now, let's say you're inviting somebody to take a look at the product. It might be, your friend, fellas, you're in the gym, you see a guy struggling, has got a bad knee or something like that. So you might say something like, hey, I found something that's working really good for me, helped that shoulder injury I had, really relieved a lot of pain, got a lot less stiffness. Might that be something you'd be interested in looking at? Would you like to learn more about that? Use an invitation that is meaningful to the individual. Different example. Maybe you've got a friend that's near retirement age. Maybe they've been talking about, hey, we're a little concerned about what kind of income we're going to have in retirement. Frame up your invitation this way. Hey, I came across a program. It's letting people generate, full-time income on a part-time basis, creating, residual retirement income in a very short period of time. Would that be something you might be interested in? Make the invitation as specific as you can to something that would be interesting to them. You're going to have much more success if you focus on their needs. So, invitation. Would you like to take a look? Note, I invite people. I don't tell people I'm going to. I don't tell people, hey, I want to tell you about this product, or I want to tell you about this opportunity. I invite people to take a look. When I frame that invitation up in a fashion that's meaningful to them, then I get people to say, yes, tell me about it. It's so much better if somebody wants to hear your story rather than you telling them, I'm going to tell you a story. Does that make sense? It's kind of a permission-based information. So, second, let me make sure this thing is off here. The second step in that process is called the presentation. So step 1, you've invited somebody to take a look. You're going to get a response, something like, well, I don't know, I might be interested in that. Tell me all about it. Or, what do you got? And see, that presentation, the information they're asking for, the novice distributor is tempted to be the one to give them the information. That second step, the presentation, it's very important to understand that should not be done by you. You want to put this in your notes. Step 2, presentation, use the tools. We have many, many different tools that are available to share information on the product or information on our income opportunity. We do a Thursday night webinar business presentation. It's usually about 15 to 20 minutes long, and do a quick overview of the company story, product story, the income opportunity. A few people share their stories. It's a great tool for sharing the information. We've got DVDs, we got videos, we got online presentations, live presentations in your local market in some cases. There's many ways to give that presentation. What's key, put it in your notes, Don't be the person that gives the presentation. Use a tool for that information. And here's the reason why. You will either be too good or too bad at doing the presentation. Okay? That's just the way it is. If you're a great speaker, you're very knowledgeable, you've spent a lot of time researching it, whatever, you can do the presentation. Here's the problem. You could do an excellent presentation. The only problem is your prospect, your potential, team member is going to look at that and go, well, this sounds really great, but I'd never be able to do it as well as she did or as well as he did, because it's not something that they feel they can duplicate. And so there's the problem. If you're a great presenter and you go and do the information yourself, it's not duplicatable, and you're going to lose a lot of people. You would have lost me. Okay, now here's the other problem. You might be too bad. You may not be able to share the information well enough, that the person you're speaking to actually gets it. They may not be able to get it at all. So you're either going to be too good or too bad. Use a tool. So step one, invitation. That's what you do. Step two, presentation. That's what the tools do. Now here's step three. And this is the most important part of the system. It's called third-party validation. Step three is validation. Somebody beside you sharing the story. Okay, now let me explain why this is so important. If you are brand new in the business and you follow those three steps, invitation, presentation, you do those well, you might have somebody looking at this and going, well, this sounds like exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for a way to create, part-time income from home. That way, my wife can stay home and raise the kids or whatever, right? Or, my husband can stay home and raise the kids, or a way to, save the money we need for a down payment or be able to afford the private school for the kid that we were looking for. They may get it. But here's the problem. If you've just started, you don't have any validation of financial success. And what you're likely to get is something like, well, Fred, that sounds really good. Let me know how it works for you. And now it's on hold. And you don't have a new distributor. See, this is the problem with your story. If you're brand new, you don't have one yet. Now, let's look at the other side of the coin. My story. I got to tell you, my story, I have to tone it down a lot. I mean, frankly, it's kind of unbelievable the level of income I've made. It's unbelievable the level of income I make residually, not just what I've accumulated over the last few years, but just an ongoing monthly basis. I mean, who can believe making, an above average annual income every couple of weeks? I mean, that's unbelievable. And so my story doesn't work either. When I do my personal, I have to use somebody else's story to validate the opportunity because my story is unbelievable. So 3 steps to the process. Number 1 is the invitation. That's what you do, and be good at this. Bring the invitation to the person, what it is that they would be interested in. Number 2, presentation. Use the tools. Don't be the one that does the presentation. Number 3, validation. Get somebody besides yourself to share the story. In most cases, that'll be a conference call or a video conference, something like that, with your active, engaged upline. So there's a system. Now, I want to give you a couple of quick things before I move on, because this was very helpful to me in the early days. 2 concepts. First one, 90% opinion, 10% fact. Put this in your notes. 90% of opinion, 10% fact. See, most people's knowledge on a topic is 90% opinion, 10% fact. And it's based upon their experience. So for instance, we provide, health and wellness products. Well, everybody's an expert on nutrition. Why? Because everybody eats. Okay, we all eat, therefore we are experts on nutrition. 90% of what we believe is simply our opinion. You might have somebody that'll say something like, you can overdose on vitamins. Okay, well, that's their opinion. Okay, and it really has, it's founded, maybe 10% in fact, but it's 90% opinion, and you are not going to change people's opinion with facts. Be real clear on that. Check the ratio, 90% opinion, 10% fact. I learned a phrase, I was taught a phrase that worked so well for every possible, concern, objection, question, what have you, when you're dealing in these kind of arenas. How about this one? Oh, that's network marketing. Those things don't work. That's a pyramid scheme. Anybody heard that one? That's a pyramid scheme. Now, I don't hear those. People say, well, yeah, I'm sure you've heard people say that. No, people don't say that to me. People do not tell me that I have a pyramid scheme or that it doesn't work. They can't, because I have too much experience, I have too much knowledge, I have too much results. They can't say that to me, and they don't. Okay, but that wasn't always the way it was, right? So here's your response. Whatever the question is, or the concern is, whatever the objection is, use this phrase. Ready? Write it in your notes. I don't know about that. All I know is, then share a story. See, people can argue with facts. Where'd your facts come from? My facts came from somebody with more degrees than the person you got your facts from. People can argue with that, but they cannot argue with the story, because the story is reality. So, nutrition isn't going to help me with my, aches and pains. Well, I don't know about that. All I know is I started using the Zija products, and within 4 days, I came off the pain medication I'd been on for my shoulder surgery that went bad. If you just cut back on eating, you'll lose weight. Well, I don't know about that. I'd been going to the gym for several years, but when I got on Zija, I've now lost over 35 pounds just with good nutrition, and I've been dieting. It's hard to lose weight. I don't know about that. All I know is you're experiencing Zija. Those things don't work. Well, I don't know about that, but all I know is I'm working with a gal out of Georgia, Dee Dee Shaw. She's a stay-at-home mom. She created a 6-figure income working part-time from home. Okay, yeah, but only the people that have been in the industry forever make lots of money like that. Well, I don't know about that. I'm working with a gal, Amy McKenzie. She's in Los Angeles. She never had any experience in this kind of business. She's an emerald driving a Mercedes paid for by the company. Okay, I don't know about that. All I know is, and then an appropriate story. If you arm yourself with that one little tool, I'm not going to tell you it's going to convince everybody against their belief system, but it's the very best chance you've got to get people to be willing to listen. Okay? Second thing. Number 2, concepts versus techniques. Okay? Now, this is something that was ingrained in me very early on. Everybody wants to know, where do you go? Who do you talk to? What do you say? What do you say when they say this? Okay, everybody wants to know what the technique is. And I have to tell you, techniques vary over time. They're dependent upon individuals, technology, what have you. Concepts remain the same. True concepts remain constant over time. Our business has always been a simple business. One person sharing with another about a product. Okay, getting somebody else's validation. An established distributor taking a brand new distributor and helping them develop their first new distributor. Belly to belly, face to face kind of thing. Now, over the years, the techniques on how we do that have changed. It used to be back in the day, in the early days of this type of business, that's how you built the business. Your sponsor would sit there next to you, you'd make a phone call, set up an appointment, they'd tell you what to say, so you could set up an appointment, and then the two of you go over and meet your friend in the living room. They draw the circles and arrows, and they do it enough times that they get you a couple of customers, get you a couple of distributors. Well, that's great if all you want to do is expand in your neighborhood. How do you expand to the next town? How do you expand to the next, county, the next state, the next country? Over the years, the techniques have changed. You know, we started getting long distance calling, and now we've got the internet and video conferencing, but the concepts remain the same. And so don't focus so much on a particular technique that might be working for you. You might be really good at reaching out to people online. Somebody else might be really good at reaching out to people in, you know, trade shows or what have you. Those are techniques that accomplish the same thing. You've got to share the product, share the opportunity to teach people to do the same. Okay. Don't focus on the technique, focus on the concept. Techniques are not duplicatable by the masses. The concepts are. Now, does everybody use a technique? Sure, everybody does. Everybody's got something they do that's a little special for them. But folks, help me with this. Teach the concepts. They are duplicatable by the masses. A specific technique that you use is not necessarily duplicatable by the masses. Now, final point. What's this all for? Why are we doing this? This is to create a consumer base. And be very clear on this. The business of network marketing is like every business out there. Our job is to create a large consumer base. The more consumers, people using the product that we have in our organization, the larger the paycheck. Now, you can focus on a direct sales business model. That distribution model is what a lot of people confuse our business with. That's a component of our business. You can go out and get one customer and then go get another, then go get another, go get another. 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 is 4. And you're doing what we do. That's what we do. We get consumers. Now, there's an additional thing you can do, and don't mistake what I'm saying here. Everybody should go get customers. That's what we do. Some of our customers have become some of our most successful distributors. Now, you can create leverage in your business by having others help you get consumers in your organization. That would be through the development of other distributors. And if you think about it, you could go out and get 10 customers, and you've got 10 customers. How long will it take you to get 10 customers? I don't know, however long it takes. You know, one a day, one a week. It's going to take you a certain amount of time to get 10 customers. You could also then go out and get 10 distributors. How do you get 10 distributors? Well, put together a list, invite people to take a look, use the tools for the presentation. You know, get one of your upline active engaged distributors with a story to do the validation. You could get 10 distributors. How long is it going to take to get 10 distributors? I don't know. One a day, one a week, one a month, however long it takes. But if you can get those 10 distributors to join you in the business, guess what they're doing? They're using the product. They're 10 consumers. Now, distributors tend to use more product than a typical customer. It's a little bit more efficient way to get product into the marketplace. Teach those 10 distributors how to go out and get their first 10 customers, and now you have 100 consumers. Teach those 10 distributors how to get their own 10 distributors, and now you have 1,000 consumers. It's just as simple as that. Who are you looking for? From the product perspective, anybody that's breathing. That's it. People want our products. They're looking for our products. They just don't know they exist. Who are you looking for as a distributor? Real simple. Somebody like you. Somebody who would like more income, more free time in their life, or more fun. Those are the universal desires. Who do you know would want more income, more free time, and more fun? That's everybody. And we know not everybody's going to do what we do, but enough will. What is the key? Be consistent on a daily basis, sharing the good news. That's the key. And all you got to do with our compensation plan is simply get 2. Everybody knows 2 people who can do this business. And if you help that person get their first 2, and then help those 2 people do the same thing, help them get their 2, and then help those 4 people, help them get their 2. Now you've got 8. Help those 8 people get their 2. If you do the math, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 30 distributors. But they consume the product. 30 people consuming the product. You know, it's just as simple as that. And so what's the key to success in our business? Stick to the basics. focus on the correct activities, and be consistent on a daily basis. It doesn't matter if you've got 15 minutes and that's all you have today. Use those 15 minutes to invite somebody to look at your opportunity, to share the product with somebody. I was not an overnight success in this company. Okay. However, what I do have, my superpower, if you will, is I have the ability to be very consistent every single day, doing it over and over and over and over again. And within 36 months, working part-time from home, the ZG Income Opportunity products allowed me to achieve an income that less than 1% of the entire country has. And it's grown since then. And so the key is be consistent, follow the system, don't complicate it, focus on correct activities. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to transition here. Hope that was helpful. I hope you're able to get some of that down in your notes. These are the things that were taught to me 30 years ago. I'm going to call Amy McKenzie in to join me because we're going to turn the balance of our hour into a question and answer session. And there's a place in there somewhere down on your screen where you can, ask a question. Or I think of the chat box. That's it. Use the chat box. And but I asked Amy McKenzie if she'd take a couple of minutes and share a couple of things. She's really got this positioning pack thing going. She's really got a great way to present that. And I wanted to bring her in. Let me see here. Find promote panelists. I'm gonna Amy, you're coming over to our side of the presentation here. Hope you are. Did I get you going here? There we go. Hello, Amy. I'm going to unmute you here. I've just unmuted you. There you are. Good morning. How are you?
Hi.
You're looking lovely.
Wonderful. Terrific training.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate your training.
Yeah, I was just telling the folks, we were speaking earlier this week about the positioning packs and some deep, some finer nuances there. And I asked Amy if she did, here's the thing most people don't get. I'm not particularly, let me start that again. I'm not the best at this kind of business. I've been doing it for a long time, so I've gotten pretty good. But I rely on my team members. For those of you that maybe are brand new, you may not recognize, Amy McKenzie is an emerald with our company. She's one of our top trainers. Her story is recognized throughout Zeegeland. But anyway, Amy, why don't you take a minute and just share a little bit with the folks about what we were talking about, using the positioning packs and how to be able to advance people with that.
Be happy to, Fred. But I got to say first, without your training, because of this Fast Start training, you guys, I was able to succeed to the point where I put my daughter through one of the most expensive private universities in America. I could never have done that. I would have gone off and done 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. Thanks to you, Fred, I understood how to do this. And I took your advice when you said, great, you did the Fast Start, now do it 50 more times. And I said, what? Do it until you can teach it. Boy, am I glad I took your advice because it worked. So you don't necessarily have to do it 50 times, but keep plugging in. Join your people when you invite them to this training. I still learn something every time you do it. That was terrific. Thank you. Okay, jumping right in. This conversation is about positioning packs versus a ROC. That's our acronym for repeat order customer. Now, if you're brand new, I don't want you to worry if this doesn't all land the first time you hear it. The beauty of this business, even though it's your own business, right? You're not in it by yourself. Your sponsor will help guide you through the process. But just kind of listen. And for those of you that will be teaching it, listen from that point of view. The beauty of this is that it's a huge opportunity and might be a little confusing starting out. So right now we have 10 weeks left with this wonderful promotion. It's called the Double Fast Start Commissions. FSC is the acronym. Some of you may have taken advantage of buying the gold or the diamond package so that you have that 50% first order payout. It's a wonderful thing. This conversation is to ensure that we have people taking the best advantage of that. Okay, so how do we do that? How do we help our new person take advantage of that? Well, let's find out. Should they be a ROC or should they come in with a positioning pack? which is better? I'll tell you right now, if they're ready to go, you don't need either of those. Success leaves clues. I came in full on, straight on with a diamond. So did Fred Holmes. So did Pat Anderson. I can name a lot of people because we got it. Don't prejudge your person. They may not need this step. How you do that? Ask questions, listen, and find out what they need. Now, in the process of doing that, what you might discover is this person is interested in the business, but they feel like they need several months. Talked to a lady yesterday, very knowledgeable. She knows her stuff. She wants 3 months at least on this product before she's willing to commit to being a distributor. So the positioning pack may not be the best choice for her. And if she comes in as a repeat order customer, guess what? When she finally decides to be a distributor, she's treated like a brand new enrollment and will have the opportunity to take advantage of whatever promotion, if there is one at that time, that's available to her. So in some cases, it's actually better to just let them have the time that they need. We never want anyone to feel pressure. And we know that for some, it does take some time till they really understand what this product can do. So who is the right client or prospect for that positioning pack? Well, timid customers, $40. Just about anyone will be willing to try anything for $40, and we get 100% money back guarantee on top of that. So they can dip their toe in the water, well, the company says it's a 4-day, but honestly, it's really an 8-day sample if you alternate the super with the protein shake. You can give them some time on it. They can kind of try it out. They'll also get their 10 promo codes where maybe they want to share it with their friends. You can then decide to come along later and say, hey, let me show you something. Open up this office. I want to show you, you actually have a downline already. What does that mean? It means that if some of your friends order, you might get some of your product paid for if you want to continue. Maybe even eventually, if you like, I can show you how to get it for free. It's a way for them to begin gently, and it's a wonderful thing for that. The other way that I like to use this, that it can strategize for someone, say you have a business prospect that really gets this, they really want it, they don't have the disposable income. They don't have a credit card. They don't have anyone they can take a business loan from. They're in a place where they really want and need this, but they're not quite sure how to do it. Well, you can, if they're motivated enough, instruct them on how to share their codes. People can be sampling or whatnot. They can line up all their people that are interested in coming in with a package. Find out what, they've done the system. They invited them to look. They did the presentation. Those people have had a 3-way call. They know which package they want. Some of them want a gold. Some of them want a diamond. Some just want to be a customer. Then you do the math. It's very easy to figure out how much you will make when those packages come in. So let's say you're really hoping to get a gold package. And Susie says, you know what, I'm going to get a gold. And John says, I'm going to get a diamond. You know already that if you get the gold first, you're going to make $750, $250 from the gold, double fast start commission, $500 from the diamond. That's going to make $750 available to you in about 10 days from the end of that week. Our weekend's on Friday. So now it's a whole different conversation. If you can go to someone that trusts and knows you, say, look, can I get a business loan? Or now I'm comfortable risking putting it on my credit card. Or I can see that I'll be able to do this because I know I have that income coming in. So that's a great way to help someone who really deserves and wants this opportunity to help them achieve it. And I love that about the positioning packs. Okay, let me look at my notes. Couple things I want you to be aware of. The 28-day deadline, for those of you that have been around for a little while, for those new positioning pack enrollments did indeed get lifted. They have from now until Summit, which is about 10 weeks. This promotion will end at that time. So if they come in today, they don't have to order anything, right? Here's the caveat. If they order anything at all before the gold or diamond package, they have ousted themselves out of that potential double fast start. So what does that mean? It means if they're interested in doing the package, that's got to be their very first purchase, the gold or the diamond, if that's of interest, just so you're aware of that. Otherwise, they have all the time in the world, right? You might want to just sell them some product if they need some more. That's another way to deal with it. Something else to be aware of. you yourself as the sponsor, you still have a 28-day deadline in order to receive your double fast start commission on that person. Now, how much does that matter? Well, yeah, it'd be nice if someone comes in with a diamond to get your $500. Is that more important than they are? No. Pay more attention to the person who you brought in to building their business. I promise everyone will win, right? We have an ethical agreement to be in service to people. This is your opportunity to do that. And it works. Whichever way you go, positioning pack, rock, or coming in straight, has to be what serves them best. I hope that helps. Thanks, Fred.
That was wonderful, Amy. I'm going to ask you to stay with me if you would, because I'm going to open up for question and answers. But that was great. And now you understand, Amy has really matured in our business. She's a professional businesswoman in a network marketing business, and she's getting this. And what a benefit it is to all of us, certainly those members of her organization, but because we all work together as a team, it's really helping so many other people. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to invite you to use this time we have together. Any questions you might have, put them in the chat box. While you're doing that, I want to make a quick announcement. We are in the beginning of the 4th cycle of period 117. This is the last week we have to be able to pre-order for the initial run of the new Zija plant protein bars. This is a product that we have been, we've been asking for this product for years, as long as I've been around that I can remember. Amy remembers, why can't we get a protein bar? Everybody's got protein bars. People spend a fortune on them. We need one. Well, the initial run will be shipped next period. We have 1 week left. Let me put this up real quick, see if I can get this here. There it is. I'm going to share the screen. Folks, we have an opportunity to pre-order this. Let's see, slideshow from the current slides. This is the Core Moringa Plant Protein Bar. You can pre-order these right now from your back office. You'll see at the in the upper right-hand corner there is a code. It says Wave2F Homes. Wave2F Homes. When you click on the banner to order your to put in your pre-order of these bars, if you enter that code, it'll open up the window. That way you can see the pricing and all that kind of stuff and order as many lots as you want. Anyway, Wave2F Homes. And I had an interesting question. Somebody said, well, Fred, why should we use that code? Well, what they were trying to say was, do you make extra money on this? No, I don't make any extra money on this. Okay, that's the code they gave me for the Catch the Wave tour event we did on the webinar last Saturday. Okay, you got to have a code. This one, I mean, you can put in your own code. You can put in Wave2, A McKenzie. Problem is, that's not a valid code. You won't get anything with it. So put in Wave2F Homes where it asks for your promotional code, and you'll be able to pre-order these bars. You have 1 week left. Okay, so on Friday of this upcoming week, the pre-orders will be gone, and you'll have to wait until they do the next run. So let me move this back here. All right, I've got what we got going on here. Wow, Amy, I think we're doing pretty good here because I've got no questions. Going once, going twice. Any questions, folks? And do this for me. If you do have a question, please go ahead. I won't even call out your name. All right, if it's an embarrassing question, but be aware, there's at least 2 or 3 other people got the same question you got, and they're going to feel silly. I don't want to ask that question. Everybody else already knows the answer, and I'll look stupid. So don't be that person. No stupid questions. Just no silly questions. Just silly people who didn't ask the question. There we go. That was close. All right, let's see. You guys did an awesome job. I always learn something new. Oh, well, thank you so much, Mary. That was really sweet of you to say that. We'll give it just another moment before we close out, and let me do the upcoming week's announcements. This is the final cycle of this period. So for those of you that are doing some rank advancements that are period dependent, get a hold of your upline, get a hold of myself, whoever else is your upline leader. Let's do what we have to be able to make sure that that takes place. On Monday evening, Facebook Live, David Moses is going to be doing a Millionaires in Training call. I will tell you, I've been in this profession for over 30 years. I'm not bragging, I've made millions of dollars in this profession. And I have to tell you, every single time David does his Millionaires in Training, I jot down notes. I pick up something. Oftentimes, it's taking me back to information, focus that I've lost over the years. So I can't tell you how important it is to be part of David's presentation on Monday nights. Learn from somebody. I mean, David buries me in income. All right, and so if I'm learning, there's a clue. As Amy said a bit ago, success leaves clues. If I'm taking notes, then you ought to be there and listen in on David. Throughout the week, go to Dr. Plant's Facebook page. Throughout the week, there are several different Facebook Live presentations on various aspects of our product. On Thursday evening, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going to do a short business presentation. It's a great first exposure tool. We use the same webinar ID, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Either I host that or we have other people. Amy hosts that sometimes. Doug Stroop, one of our, one of the Zija legends, he'll be doing some of that as well. But it's a great way for 15, 20 minutes to be able to through the privacy of their home, your prospect can come in and take a look. And then next Saturday morning, we will do another broadcast. It'll be our Saturday morning fast start training, and then the once a month, first Saturday of the period, we'll be doing a team meeting Saturday evening. 5 p.m. Pacific. This will be a week from today. So that'll be the first Saturday of the period. All the announcements from the Diamond Club call, Amy and myself will be on that. And let's see here. No question. Huge thanks to both of you, Fred and Amy. A great one to share to someone I know. Oh, perfect. All right. Well, Amy, I think I'm going to have you on question and answer with me more often because it makes the work a lot easier for me. Folks, we're at the top of the hour. Amy, you're such a blessing to so many people and certainly to myself. Thank you so much for taking time with us. Folks, we're going to go ahead and sign off for now. Have a wonderful cycle 4. We're excited about what's happening. A lot of you are really focused on your rank advancements. Get a hold of Amy or myself, whoever's your upline leader. Let us be part of that success with you. So with that, we'll sign off. Amy, have a lovely rest of your day. Are you going cruising in that pretty Mercedes?
Oh, you know it. Top down.
All right, folks. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you. Bye-bye.